right, guys. So chapter 9 is going to be talking about time and billing. Okay, so what you can use time and billing for is if you want to link together an expense and a revenue together in one. Now, this section here is only primarily if you like to either have custom orders for a specific individual, or if you have your 1099 workers and you want to link them to a specific customer. So it, or also if you have somebody like that's your employee that you want to keep track of time for and you want to pay them, then this chapter is for you. But if you don't do any of that, well, you got to learn it anyways. This is how we're going to be using we're going to be using what's called two-sided items, and this is how we're going to use it and have it billable to other people. So this is primarily what I was talking about, where chapter 2 talks about custom jobs or customer/jobs, right? When you have that little link for customers and jobs, you're not only are you selling a product or purchasing a product, you're linking another individual in there. So this is all about them. So this is how we do customer jobs and what job costing is all about. So if you guys have read it, you're going to see that first section we're going to learn about is talking about reimbursable expenses. So again, when we look at reimbursable expenses, there is things that you may, for example, if you have a third-party vendor, right? You always have to pay them first before the customer pays you, all right? So this is the concept of reimbursable or billable expenses. So what you can do here is, again, if you have a third-party vendor, right, and they do a task for you, you have to pay them in advance, and you're going to have the customer, you're going to tag that charge on a customer's form so that they can pay not only to cover the service that you pay the third-party vendor for, but you also profit out of it as well. All right? So for oftentimes, like, if you go through a specific person, let's say, because we're going to look at when one of our customers comes to us and purchases an item for us, what we get to do is we get to mark up the price, because we're not going to sell it to them for what we buy it for. We get the possibility to mark it up because you're asking us to buy it for you. So we have the ability to mark up that value, and this is what today's lesson is going to be. Okay? So again, reimbursable and billable expenses typically are usually linked between other current assets, cost of goods sold, expenses, and other expenses. Okay, so again, usually you're more likely to link together your expenses. All right, so these are here, right here. Now, other current assets could be like intangible assets or deposits or things that you can't physically touch, but they do typically fall in between the fine lines of, like, it's there, but it's not physically there. It's just a representation. So usually that would be linked with the cost of goods sold and the expenses elsewhere. Okay. So when we go ahead and look at this is very important that you guys understand. So this entire lesson is that it's going to ask you to toggle or to activate the time and billing option. Now, with QuickBooks, it's already there. All you really have to do is go to your edit preferences and go to time and billing. So again, if you would like to use the reimbursable or the billable option, you definitely want to go to your company preferences. So go to here. We're going to go down to time and expenses and company file, and you should be able to see here. So the question first is going to be, do you keep track of your time? So yes, that's definitely one of them. And do you want to mark all entries as billable? This is the most important one that you need to select so that you have the option to either attach a person for it and choose whether you're going to bill them or not. So this is the most important one that we're talking about in this chapter. So you want to make sure this is logged on. Now they also have other things, for example, things that you can toggle here. Are you going to make all expenses billable? In this case, because we're we do utilize this, I'm going to make it all expenses are billable. If you do uncheck mark this, you are going to have to manually select that they're billable. Okay. And then of course we have this little percentage of markup. So we have 20% here. And we'll talk about this when we actually dive into one of the examples of how to use the markup when we are trying to buy something, so a purchase, and for a customer. All right. All right, so now that I've toggled, all these are already automatically on. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now, of course, this is going to be dealing with primarily your all three. So we are going to be primarily looking at entering bills. We're going to be looking at entering invoices. And lastly, we're going to be looking at entering time. So as you can see, this little line that goes all the way down, right? So here it goes to an invoice, entering time, goes straight to an invoice. So this is our main focus right here. Okay, so the first example is going to be utilizing or reimbursing for a paid service. So again, the first example is we decided to have Miranda's Corner. They're our third-party vendor or our independent contractor on our side. So we contract them to do simple tasks such as delivery fees and stuff. So in this case, we're going to pay for a service in advance. And I'm going to show you how we can tack that onto a customer and have them pay for this this extra charge that we already paid for already. So in this case, it's going to ask you to first pay for the person first. So we're going to go to write checks, okay? So again, you have two options to write checks. Either you go to your home page or you can go banking at the top of your menu bar. But I'm going to go ahead and go to my write checks window through my home page. So here, I want to make sure I'm in my checking account. All right, it gives me how much money I should have. And then the person that I want to pay is going to be Miranda's Corner. All right. Let me see. What else is on here? Oh, wait. It's going to be express delivery service. Okay, so I'm thinking about the other one. My bad. So we're going to pay for a third-party vendor called Express Delivery Service. Okay, so we use them to deliver special documents or whatever it is that our customer needs. Okay. So as if you guys can follow along on page 262. So I'm going to pay for a document delivery. Okay, so here I'm going to charge an account called reimbursable expense. All right, and it's going to be for the amount of $20. Okay, so the date here, I believe, is February 3rd. Okay. Of course, my check number is automatically there. So it's going to be for $20. Now you can type it in there, here, or you can first place your item in here and then go ahead and it will show up. It will show up on the top of right there where your total check is going to be written out for. So in this case, see, as you see, I put in my $20. It automatically linked it into my section here. Now, of course, we talked about this before. You have a section here for expenses. So this is primarily for accounts. And if you want to be more specific, you can do items as well. Okay? But in this case, it is an expense, and it's going to be a reimbursable expense. Okay? Now, do you need to create a reimbursable expense? Yes, you can. You don't have to. But it does help you keep track of your expenses as well as your, when you charge your customers. All right? You want to make sure that if you are using a third-party vendor, that if you're paying in for that person, you want to make sure that you recognize that whatever thing that you paid for some other person, that the customer reimburses you for it. So it's just an account that they use here. So the memo here is going to be, I believe it's document delivery. All right. Now this is the part I want you guys to recognize, because this is where this is what this section is all about. Right here you have customer/jobs, okay? And then you have this little section right here, if you could see it, it says billable right next to class, right? So if I were to place in, I believe this is this Maria Cruz? Or is it Miranda's Corner? Miranda's Corner. Okay, so I switched up the person. Okay, so the customer is Miranda's Corner. There you go. And then now you have the option to either bill Miranda's Corner for this service. So that's why this section right here where it says billable is going to pop up. And that's what happens when you've activated the time and billing section. So this is where, since I've placed a customer here, this right here is an expense to me. So how I'm going to be utilizing this is when I start billing Miss Miranda's Corner, the first thing that's going to pop up is going to be this specific check that I've written out previously. So I'm going to technically charge Miranda's Corner for this service. So here you go. I select that it's going to be billable. My class, is it Walnut Creek?
Yes.
Walnut Creek. All right. Once I verify everything here, the check number, the date that I have my third-party vendor and my customer's Miranda's Corner, I'm going to go ahead and save and close. Okay. So once I've done that, my next task is now to go ahead and create an invoice. So as you can see, I'm going to be opening this. Tells me I have new features. So the first thing I'm going to do is in my customers, I'm going to go ahead and type in Miranda's Corner. All right, once I've done this, I get a window that says, hey, you have this customer is linked to a billable item or a billable expense. And excuse me, it gives you options to either select the according billable items or to exclude it. And in this case, we want to be able to select what our billable items are going to be. So here's the billable little window, okay? I want you guys to recognize this because we will be looking at time and expenses as well as I think we might tap into items as well, okay? So as you can see, 3 sections here. We have time, we have expenses, we have mileage. So yes, so for your customers or for your employees, you can track your mileage, right? And this is how you can reimburse your vendors or your employees for the mileage that they paid for. So that's considered reimbursable. And then you could reimburse for items as well. So in this case, we are mainly focused on expenses. So here we are, expenses. Now, as you can see, the first thing you see is this little this little thing that we've already wrote a check for, right? Our delivery fee was for $20. I'm gonna go ahead and click on this exact bill. Now, here's the option that I can choose. I can choose to mark up this value by 20%. So, because I paid the vendor $20, I want to get a little profit out of it because I had to hire somebody else to do the job for me. So, I want to profit but for using them and not have break even or take a loss. So in this case, I'm going to mark that it's 20%. So yes, it's already 20%. And this one's going to be mark up. I think this was mark.
Expense markup.
Expense markup. Here you go. Expense markup. All right. So that means it's gonna mark up by 20%, and you'll see what happens. Okay, you don't want to tell your customers that you're marking up the value. You're just gonna quietly do that through here. All right. Once I've got the total expenses, as you can see, since I marked it up, it increased by $4. So I paid for this vendor $20. They're paying me $24. So I get to cut, not only does that cover my cost of expensing for this third party vendor, I profit $4 out of it. Okay, so here, once I validate that it is marked up 20% or whatever markup value you want to choose, okay, you want to go ahead and select OK. So once I done that, here you go. It pops up here on Miranda's Corner's little invoice. Of course, the class, I believe this is also Walnut Creek. All right. Is the date the same? I think it's the same. Okay. And the invoice is going to be 2019-106. We don't give them terms, so it's just net 30. So once we see this and we see that the third party vendor is there, all right. Memo, or thank you for your business. Memo here should be document delivery. All right. It's Santa Clara. Is it taxable? I don't believe so. I believe it's just a service. So you don't tax on services. Okay. So here is the service. Walnut Creek, $20. Subtotal's $20. Markup $4. So your total is $24. Once you validate all this information, you can go ahead, click Save and Close. Of course, you can always hide this or manipulate it however you'd like so the customer doesn't see that you marked them up for it. Yes, but yes. Okay. Now that we've billed and we've invoiced Miranda's Corner for this document delivery, we could go ahead, click Save and Close. So once you get the people of approval, that's how you utilize the reimbursable / billable feature. Okay. So yeah, there you go. All right. Any questions in regards to what we did here?
I do have a question. In terms of that markup,
Mm-hmm.
do you have to, it's a manual entry or does that automatically comes out?
So remember when we got to this window here, the billable time window here. If you remember, because I selected 20% at the very top,
Oh, okay.
yeah, see 20% here, it automatically calculated in my window just to confirm to me that this is what I want the bill to look like. I want it to be marked up 20%, then yes. If I wanted to mark up 50%, I can do so. So the original cost or the original expense to me was $20. So here, as you can see, it shows you when you apply that 20% markup, it automatically calculates it in this window here. And then when you select OK, it popped up on the bill here. Okay, it showed on the bill that it automatically calculated for you. Okay. Now, of course, you can print your invoice for Miranda's Corner, so you can see what this markup or this uh, document delivery expense was on their side. But in this case, it's okay. We don't need to print out anything. And what you can do too is you can also check out your profit and loss here, because technically it's kind of a revenue because we've increased our sales by the markup value of 20%. So yes, you can go ahead and check out those things there. Okay, so again, we looked at toggling billable time and also making sure that you make or have all of your expenses selected or available to be billable. So yes, okay. So we talked about that billable window, right? There's a section for time, expenses, mileage, and items. So if you choose to utilize the items, you're going to have to create what's called a two-sided item. Okay? So again, two-sided items, right, is a way that you can link your expenses to your revenues. Okay, so what would you use these items for? You can use them for reimbursing expenses, which we just did a first example about. If you have a custom order, all right, if a specific customer is trying to buy a product through you and you're the person that you want to pass the bill to, right? You could definitely utilize this this two-sided item. All right. You can also use it for anybody who is, or if you use a subcontracted labor. Okay. So again, this is where your third parties or your independent contractors, your 1099 workers, are going to, because you pay for them, and you're going to have the customer not only pay for their bill, but pay you a little profit as well. So that is another option that you can do. So first I want to show you, so in the book it says that we're going to start by doing the custom orders. Okay, so first we got to create the item first. All right, on what exact item we're going to be personally buying for a person. So in this case, I got to build an item. And how do I build an item? How do I create a new item?
Item list.
You could go to list, item list. Good. So list, item list. So list, item list. Okay. Where else can you go to your items? Okay. Give you a big hint. It's on the home page. So again, majority of the transactions that you learn in this book are also on the home page. Okay. So as you can see right here, under company, you have items and services. So if I click that, here I am in my items list. We're going to create a new item. All right, so you can either right click new, or you can come down to the bottom here to the little items tab and also click new. Okay. I also believe you could also go to vendors as well. I did see it last time. If you go to vendors and you go to inventory activities, you can create a new item as well here. Okay. So this one, we're going to create a two-sided item, right? We're just in most of your items that you do here, especially for your inventory items. Well, we got to look at a regular inventory item that we placed in here. So yesterday we created the 5x7 wooden frame. That too is also known as a two-sided item, because not only are you linking an expense together with a revenue or an income. Okay. So in this case, I believe we are creating a non-inventory part. Okay. And the item's going to be a custom camera. Custom camera. Okay. So that means this is going to be unique to a person. All right. So they're going to tell us, well, I want a camera with all this and this and this. Okay. Now the next question is, does this item belong to an assembly or an assembly part? And you want to select yes or check mark this, because what's going to happen is going to drop down your expenses as well. Instead of just only selling the item, it's going to drop down your expenses. So how much is this camera going to cost you?
We have one price here.
No price?
No price, zero.
Okay. All right, we got the cost of goods sold and a supply. And then again, when we charge our customers, we can charge them however we'd like. Okay. So in this case, because a custom camera, right? A custom camera is going to have a bunch of parts and unique models to it. So we can't predict how much the custom camera is going to actually be. So in this case, we're going to skip that. So we have the cost of goods sold, as always, and our preferred vendor is Ace Supply, right? We usually go to them to buy all our cameras, our lenses, and our picture frames. Okay. So again, you can't predict how much you're going to sell it because you need to know how much it's going to cost you before you can figure out how much you want to charge them for. Okay. Of course, it's a product, so we have to charge tax. And when we sell our item, we want to make sure it gets collected into sales. Okay. So once this section is done here, I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So here appears the custom camera right here. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and exit out of my items list. Now, since I'm making a custom camera purchase for a specific customer, I first got to order it in the first place. So I'm going to go to enter my bills, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and order it. So I'm ordering it from Ace Supply, okay? And let me see what else is going to happen. So I'm ordering it from Ace Supply. Oh, wrong worksheet. I was like, where am I? So I'm ordering it from Ace Supply. And what else do I need to do? Oh, it's a purchase order, not a bill. Okay. Okay, so I'm doing a purchase order. Okay, and I'm ordering this from Ace Supply. I believe class is Walnut Creek. So, and I want my purchase order to be 2019-101. And the date, what's the date of this order? Oh, okay, so so February 3rd. Okay, so it's gonna ask me what kind of item am I buying. So I'm gonna actually buy a custom camera. All right. Description. Oh, I forgot to put a description, but I'm gonna write customized camera. All right. Quantity. I think I'm only gonna buy one. And then how much is this custom camera going to cost me? $398.
$398.
Okay, so here it gives me a little window that you have changed the cost for it. You're going to say, don't show this again, and yes. Okay, so this is like saying, because remember when we entered in the item, now it's recognizing, oh, a custom camera, it should be around roughly $398. Okay, so again, now the customer that I bought this item for, who is the customer that I'm buying this for?
Cruz Maria.
Yes, Maria Cruz. Okay, so now that I've linked this person here, when I bill Miss Maria Cruz, right, when I receive the items and I receive the bill and I invoice her, hers is going to it's going to pop up this bill right here because I've selected this particular customer, right? I'm buying this custom camera specifically for her. Okay. Anything here? one custom camera. All right. Because we have a vendor to customer relationship, there is no tax. Okay, so let's validate that the $398 is correct on your page here. No, not this page. This page. That is for the $398. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and enter this information in so I can have this purchase order go through. Okay. And then we're going to obviously select that we receive these items when we receive the bill. Okay. So I'm just checking what date I'm going to be receiving this item for. It says I receive on the same day. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save and close. Once you got that beep of approval, right? If you guys remember from yesterday, when we make a purchase order, we have to receive the items. In this case, I'm receiving the items with a bill. Okay, so receive inventory with a bill. And then here I am with my bill right here. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in who it is. So Mr. Ace Supply. And it says you have a purchase order open window for them. And you select yes, that is correct. And when I select the item, I click OK. And now it's going to populate all of this. Now, again, this is us receiving it, and we have the order here now. If you look carefully, what do you see? You see that Maria Cruz is already going to be billed for this specific camera. Okay, as you can see, it transferred the information from my purchase order into now this accounts payable or this expense. So I have the customized camera here for the $398, and here you're going to bill it to Maria Cruz. So again, every time you select this, it's going to automatically push through, and it's going to show up on her invoice. Okay, of course we get the terms, not her. So here, reference number, I'm still going to put 2019 or PO. 2019 101. All right, date is the same for $398. So I'm getting billed for this. All right, and we go ahead and click save and close. All right, so now that we have received the items, now the next part is to now bill Maria Cruz for this item. Okay, so here I'm in my invoice. I'm going to go ahead and type in Maria Cruz. Once I do that, now I get this window here saying the same thing. This person has a billable item or a billable expense. In this case, it was an item that we purchased. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and click OK to select the actual item that is on here. So again, when we are looking at here, you have the option for time, expenses. Obviously, there's no expenses. We're not doing for mileage. We're doing items. So as you can see here, you may select this item right here. Okay. So once we've reached that, and we're going to bill Miss Maria Cruz for this, we're going to bill her, right, for the $398. Now what we get to do is we can charge tax on this and up her bill, but in this case I believe we just give her the straight amount. Okay, so there's no option to mark this up for the items, but you can choose to do so on her invoice itself. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Okay, so here it appears on her little invoice right here. Obviously, she's getting charged. She's going to get charged tax for it. And here is custom camera. Okay, and thank you for your business. Okay, so she's getting taxed for it. And make sure that your invoice matches this picture right here that we are going to charge Maria Cruz $430. So in this case, we're not going to take a really huge profit for this. But definitely, let's see what we can do here. Oh, we are. Okay, so for the custom camera, we are actually going to charge her for a lot more than what she's paying for. So hold on, $477.60. What is this? Invoice to Maria Cruz for that one customized camera for the estimated amount of $477. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mark her value up by, I believe, let's see how much percent we're going to mark her up for to make it a total of $477. So how much are we going to charge her? I believe it's a percentage, and we're going to do quick math to be able to place this in there for her. So obviously, I'm not going to try. I'm going to raise my price value, and let's see how much is the actual markup going to be. So what's the percentage?
1.2.
1.2. So what we're going to do is going to do quick math. So you're going to tap in here under price X, right? And once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and press that star key to now run our little receipt tape. So we're going to charge this by 1.2. Okay, so that's 20%. We're marking it up 20%. Okay. And then I can press enter here. It's okay. Or I can press tab. So in this case, I marked her up 20% because I want to profit out of her 20%. I'm not going to sell my item to her at what I paid for. So here I marked it up 20%. And now, again, this is what I mean when you can manipulate and make changes on the invoice. You can make your calculations here, right? On the form, it doesn't tell you that you can do that. It doesn't let you do that. But on the actual invoice, you can do that. So we know we only paid $398. She only knows she's paying $477. Okay. So again, she's being taxed at Costa. Is it Costa? Yes, Contra Costa. And as you can see, my new invoice, after marking up the value because I want to make a profit off of her because she went through me to buy a specific item from us. All right, and then the date should be fine. Okay. Once I validated that everything is correct and our actual invoice now matches this one on this page here with the markup new value, I'm going to go ahead, click save and close. Okay, so we got to see creating an item, right? We went through a purchase order to receive a bill, and once that bill was there, I automatically took that billable expense and I had my customer pay for it. So again, this line of transaction does actually flow in that correct order. So once you receive a bill, you can charge your customer based on that bill. Okay, so when Maria Cruz pays you, right? Well, obviously you have the choice. You can pay the bill in advance, right? Because you're given time, and you might be able to make the discount period. While Maria Cruz, right, whatever terms you gave her is going to be on her own time on when she's going to pay you back. So again, that's what this section is. That little section is when you have a customer and they're ordering specific items through you, and you're just the middleman. Okay. All right. Any questions on how we did that specific portion?
What if, what was that? Okay, you increase 20%
Mm-hmm.
over the price.
Mm-hmm.
What if you have a term with the customer? Are you still, will you still be profiting from that if you're offering that term with customer?
Absolutely, because remember, as a, let's say, what is it? As a person who offers your customers terms, right? You don't really necessarily give them a high percentage. Maximum you will do is maybe 10%, unless like it's a special offer, obviously, that you could do your 20%. But most oftentimes, as you see, usually you give your customers like 1 or 2% discount, because you just are giving them an incentive to just give you the money as soon as possible. Now remember, that is only a percentage off of the selling price. Okay, so at the end of the day, even if you give your customer that 1 or 2% discount, right? Often what that does is it actually either pays, okay, this is how some people view it, that discount can essentially pay for the tax, right? Because it depends on what tax, where you are. In Contra Costa, it's 8.25%. So you're not really losing anything unless you do 10%. Okay, so that 1 or 2% will maybe only cover the tax. Okay, so that going towards the actual price of the item, which it does, it's not that much of a difference. If you give your customer a 1% discount, right, but you marked up their item by 20%, you're still gaining 19%. So you know what I mean? So like again, the whole purpose of giving discounts is not based on the amount that you paid for it. It's based on the amount that you choose to sell the item for. So you're just, as far as giving discounts, when you do give discounts, you're only lowering your profit percentage. You're not cutting a hole for yourself. You're only decreasing the amount of profit that you're actually receiving. Okay? All right, so here, the next section here is using service. Oh, sorry. Any other questions in regards to billing a customer for personally buying a custom item for them? All right. Yes, was that a question?
Oh, no, ma'am. I'm just answering your question.
Oh, okay. Okay. So here, the next section is going to be using service items to track your subcontractor labor. So as as Academy Photography, we don't actually have employees that do the camera work for us, okay? Our only person that we have is Mr. Mike Bazowski. However, most of our employees are going to be a third-party vendor or a independent contractor, a 1099 worker. Now, I believe we only have one photographer that's actually there. But for this example, if we need to use someone else, such as again, a 1099 worker, which is a subcontractor, maybe we had to pay them to get a job that we couldn't do. So Mike Mazowski, or maybe Mike was just our employee, was just busy. So we are going to be utilizing or, having someone else do the job. So we're going to be using a service item to keep track of our subcontractor labor expense. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we open up our item list and check that our photographer, item is, exists, or, the items and detailing for it is there. Okay. So again, I'm going to go to items list, and I'm going to find my photographer, which is a service. So I can utilize my section here and find that my photographer, all right, if I double click on it, I can edit the information here. So what we're looking here is to make sure that we have that it is going to be that making sure that everything here looks good. So here, I believe my person that I'm going to be using is going to be East Bay Photography. We want to make sure that that my vendor, or my 1099 worker, they are going to be paid $75 per hour. And what I sell my price is that I'm going to profit a couple of dollars off of them and mark it up and charge my customers $125. So I get $50 profit here. So I believe this is just asking to make sure that the box entry that this service is used for an assembly, which it already is, and we verified that the cost is there. Okay. So then it says click OK, and then now we're going to enter in a bill. Okay. So let's go back here. So here we just want to make sure that these items pan out correctly, and that it's going to cost me $75, but I'm charging $125. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. All right. So again, it's going to ask me to enter in a bill. Okay. So I'm just going to go straight here. Okay. We learned this in chapter 4, entering a bill. And we're going to bill East Bay Photographers. So again, this is my third-party contractor, or my 1099 worker. All right, and let's see how much I'm going to be billing them for. So the item here is going to be the photographer. Okay, and how many hours of service did I have for?
6.
6 hours. Okay, and who am I making this billable to? Yes, Maria Cruz again. Okay, and then again, you have the option, are you going to link this bill to this this customer? Yes, I am. I'm going to have them reimburse me for this photographer. Class, I believe it's also Walnut Creek. And then my memo here is photographers. Okay. And they generously give us a little discount as well. Okay. Reference number. There's no purchase order or anything that's really here, so we can make it. What number were we on? I don't know. 2019. 110. I don't know. What does it say in the book? Oh, okay. So that makes sense. That makes sense. So 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's going to be for the $1,000. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. 5, 6, 7, 8. Especially when you receive your bills, you want to make some kind of sequence number so that you can keep track of your bill as well. I was thinking of purchase orders and linking that to my bill. But in this case, you could put whatever number that you want. Date. What does it say in the book?
February.
Okay, so good. So everything pans out. And let's see. Wait, I have 6 hours. How is it 1,000? What am I missing
Got
here?
one more customer there.
Or two services there.
Oh, we have 2 customer services here. Okay, so one more for Mr. Bob Mason, our lovely friend, Mr. Bob Mason. How many hours did Bob Mason get for us? 15 hours. So photographer. Oh. Okay, so no, I don't want photo paper. I want the photographer. There you go. Tab. And he got 15 whole hours from us. Nice. So there you go. So now my totals match. Now it's $15.75. So that means I have 2 bills. Wait, I forgot to do Bob Mason. So I'm going to bill him for this particular one. And again, it's going to be billed to him. And I believe he is San Jose. Okay. So there you go. So now I have 2 bills or 2 invoices that I'm going to be charging my customers for. Okay. Once everything looks good, we could go ahead and click save and close. Okay, wait. I think I need to change this. Okay. All right, save and close. All right. So then the next step is going to actually bill your customers or invoice them. Okay. So let's see who we're going to invoice first. I believe we're going to do Cruz Maria. Yeah, we're going to do her first. So create the invoice for Cruz Maria. All right. Miss Cruz Maria seems to be a very popular customer. I believe this is it for the branch or is it for specifically her? For the branch opening. Okay. Again, she belongs to Walnut Creek. And all right. So what is the item I am going to be charging her? So wait, hold on. The window's supposed to pop up, so hold on. I did something wrong. So let me go back to East Bay because I have to change the custom job to this is not Cruz Maria. It's actually Cruz Maria branch opening. Right, save and close. Yes. All right, and then I'm going to go create invoices. And then I'm going to go ahead and write Cruz Maria branch opening. There you go. Now I get this billable option here. Okay. If you have customers that utilize more than more than one title, make sure that you match them correctly so then QuickBooks can recognize what you're trying to do, especially if you're entering a bill and you're linking it to a specific person or customer. So there you go. I'm going to click OK. And of course, now the photographer is a service item. So I'm going to go to items, and here it is. All right. So again, no markup value here because I can personally do that on the actual page. I'm going to click OK. Here you go. Now she's getting charged $125 for every hour, okay? Because that's what I set my markup value to be. I paid my vendor $75, but I'm going to charge Maria Cruz $125 per hour. So again, it transfers the information here. You already have the markup value included. So here, Maria Cruz is going to be charged at 125 times 6, which brings it a grand total of $750. Okay. So let's double confirm that our information matches here. Again, it's a service, so you don't get charged tax for this. But yes, so now that we've done this, I'm going to go ahead and click OK to save the invoice. So again, we looked at a custom item, which we haven't marked up our value for because we don't have a clue how much it's going to cost us. So that's why when we build Maria Cruz, it was based off of how much the item that we choose to present, which was whatever the custom camera cost us to end up being. So it came to us $398. And what we know is that because we didn't set a we didn't set a selling price for it, we had to manually charge it. And how we determined was 20% markup. Okay? And that's what we did there. Now this is different because for service, we've already have our set prices already. And by setting that price, we do not have to come here and add anything else, right? You already assume that the markup is already there because it costs us $75, but we charge our customers $125. We already marked up our price with our gain a profit out of it. So when we bill Maria Cruz, as you can see, it's linked to the bill to East Bay Photographers, and now this is presenting that not only am I covering the cost for the photographers, I'm making a profit as well. Okay, so this one you don't need to do anything to it. Go ahead and save and close. So that is primarily what you can use two-sided, I keep saying double, two-sided items for, is to be able to link your expenses as well as your revenues together in one transaction and we call it pass forward the bill, all right? We are just the middlemen, all right? What we've done so far is we received a bill from a third-party vendor or a vendor itself, and we're passing the bill along to our customer, all right? Any questions in regards to that section that we just learned about billable and reimbursable things? No?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so right now it is 9:38, so I'll call it at 9:40. Let's go ahead and take a 15-minute break. So be back before 10 o'clock. And then we'll go over the next section, which is talking about time. All right. So again, today's going to be probably very short today. All right. So please be back before 10. We're going to call break right now.